All right, everybody, welcome to what is going to be another live recording of the Elite Development Podcast, talking about my company culture and core values. And we're going to be talking about this for a couple of reasons. First off, I had an athlete of mine asked me the other day what my company core values were. And I didn't have a direct answer for him, which I wasn't thrilled about because I have written these out in the past, but they're clearly something that I needed a little bit of a refresher on. And then, like fate does sometimes, just within a couple of days, in my business coaching course, I had one of my coaches talking about company core values and why it's important to teach your athletes, teach your clients, those things that you value, those things that they need to understand that they're coming on to be a part of when they join your company, when they start working with you. So it got me to really sit down, reflect, and go back over these company core values that I have developed. And I thought, why not bring these to the podcast, bring these to all of you, and let everybody who it tunes into these and everybody who listens to the show learn a little bit more about me. So as you tune in, I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Drop me a quick comment. Let me know how your day is going. Let me know what you've been up to, any big wins for the week so far. I know it's only Tuesday, but I hope you guys are all winning already, all having a fantastic week. And in just about 15 seconds here, we're going to get rolling into the show, and we're going to be talking about my company core value number one, positivity. All right, let's get rolling. We're going to go here in 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another live recording of the Elite Development Podcast, the show aimed to help athletes gain an edge on their opponent and build their dream careers in sport. And today, we're going to be talking about my company, Coach Do So Conditioning, and the first of our core values. And that core value is positivity. And so as we get into it, I'm going to be talking a little bit about, why this is such an important value for myself and for the athletes that I bring on into my company. And then just a little bit more about what exactly it means, because I think a lot of the time when people hear positivity, they go right to, that sort of rah rah, nothing is ever wrong and life is always perfect kind of feeling of, no matter where you're at, be positive. And that's just not what I'm here to say, because, well, I don't know, I'm a real human being. I understand that sometimes shit happens, and when shit happens, it's okay to feel it. So the first thing I want to really get across with this company core value of positivity is that this isn't blind positivity. This isn't me trying to say that nothing bad ever happens in life and, even through anything, just smile. Like, no, that's not what this is about. But it's more about learning how to better handle the bad shit when it comes up. So I'm going to use the example of MMA fighters because I work with quite a number of them. And, unfortunately, some of my athletes have seen losses when they've been working with me. Thankfully, many less have seen losses than wins. I have many more athletes with wins on their records working with me than losses, which is obviously just a nice little self plug. But when those losses happen, I'm not going to turn to that athlete that just put the last 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 weeks into training their ass off to step into the ring or step into the cage and tell them, oh, don't worry about it. Keep your head up. Like, I understand that they're going to feel like shit that day, and that's okay. But now the difference is, instead of feeling down about it and just letting yourself drop off, instead of feeling down about it and letting yourself just, dig deeper and deeper and deeper into that pain and feeling worse and worse and worse, what my goal is with this company core value of positivity is to tell you how to handle it, to work on your ability to handle it. And so the first thing I want you to do when you experience that bad moment, whether it's, a fighter experiencing a loss, whether it's being cut from a team, within your athletic career, bad days are going to happen, bad things are going to happen. And when that happens, the first thing I want you to do is feel it. The first thing I want you to do is Feel that pain of putting in all that work and not getting the result you want. And I'm sure you're listening to this probably thinking, hey, this isn't very positive. You said we're talking about positivity today, and then you're telling us about bad shit and you're telling us to feel it. But the reason I want you to feel it instead of just feeling pain is to use that as fuel. You know, if you're sitting around days after a loss and you're feeling that loss on your record, you're feeling the fact that you put all that work in, you put all that time in, you put all that effort in, and you came up short of what you were going for. Use that to better fuel your training next time. Use that to work on building better habits next time. Use that in every area of your life to start improving in those extra little 1% areas that you know you need to improve in. You know, so if you're an athlete right now listening to this saying, you know, I trained my ass off for 12 weeks and I still came up short. What are you doing outside the gym? What are you doing outside of training that could help you win next time? You know, is it taking better care of your sleep habits? Is it taking better care of your nutrition? Is it working on your mindset? Is it learning how to take the positives from negatives? You know, whatever that is, use that loss to learn how to improve for next time. Which brings me to the second thing I want you to do when the bad shit comes. Because as I mentioned, in an athletic career, bad shit's going to come. You are absolutely going to experience days that aren't fun. You are absolutely going to experience outcomes that you're not happy about. You are absolutely going to experience things in your athletic career that are not what you were going for, that are not what you wanted. And so the second thing I want you to do when that comes up is to learn from it. So that's going right off of feeling it and right off of how I want you to feel it, which is to feel the pain and use that pain as fuel. The second step is to learn. So the first thing with that is you're going to be looking back at the performance itself, looking back at what actually generated the outcome that you got. And instead of just looking at it and saying, I lost, look at it and take the positives from it. You know, if you lost and there were 3 things that you did really well, now you've got 3 things that you can bring into the next competition. Right. So again, instead of just looking at the outcome, look at the process. A perfect example of this is going back to a UFC fight that happened recently, UFC 278, Leon Edwards knocking out Kamaru Usman while he was down 3 rounds to 1 late in the 5th round of a fight. Usman was winning the fight. Leon comes back, head kicks him, knocks him out, and takes his championship. And the reason that I bring that up, the reason that that's important is, yes, you can look at the outcome and you can say who won and who lost. But more so, as the loser of that fight, if Usman's able to come through and say, I lost the fight, but relook at what it was he was doing well, look at the things that he knows he can implement next time. Now he's going to be able to come back for the next fight and he's going to be able to have a better game plan, not just look at it and say, well, shit, I lost and go from there. So the same thing for you. If you're able to actually learn from it, if you're able to actually take positives away from from the negative outcome, now you're going to be able to get better. You're going to be able to improve for next time. And if you're able to improve for next time, if you're able to take good things out of it, now you're putting yourself in a better position to succeed. And I know sometimes it's difficult. I know sometimes when you're looking at a negative outcome, the last thing in the world you want to do is think of the good things about the negative outcome. But being able to do this is going to put you in a better position to achieve every goal you have for your athletic career. So if you're truly serious about being an athlete, learn how to take positives from negative outcomes. And the third thing, going straight off of learning from it, is improving upon it. It's one thing to be able to look back at the performance, to be able to look back at that negative outcome and to figure out what you did wrong, to figure out what you can do to improve. But beyond that, you need to improve upon it. You need to actually put the action in, put the time in, put the work in to being able to step in next time a better version of who you are right now. And if you can't do that, you're going to get the same outcome time after time after time. So digging back into that a little bit, how to handle the bad shit when it comes up, the first thing you're going to do is feel it, feel that pain, feel that difficult feeling that nobody ever wants to feel, and use it as fuel. The second thing you're going to do is learn from it. You're going to learn what it is you did that caused that negative outcome, what it is you did that you could have done better, and you're going to learn what you need to do for next time to be able to give yourself a different outcome. And finally, you're going to improve upon it. If you sit back and you look at the outcome, if you sit back, you look at the entire competition and you're able to pick out those things you need to do better, that's great. But if you don't actually put in the action, you don't actually put in the time and the effort, you're not actually going to improve. So you're going to feel it, you're going to learn from it, and you're going to improve upon it. And just as a quick example of, taking the positives out of negative situations, it always kind of comes back to this one for me. I remember watching a video, and it was Ed Mylett. He's a big CEO and he does a lot of motivational speaking and just like success motivation videos and things like that. And I know he does a lot more than that, but I feel like for most people, that's probably where they're going to know him from. And he talked about how his father getting cancer was actually a positive thing because it improved their relationship. He stopped taking their relationship for granted. So, obviously this is a really extreme example of being able to take positives from negatives because, I would never wish cancer on anybody. But this guy that's obviously been so successful, being able to take such a negative thing and spin that into a positive is just a prime example of what I'm talking about here. It's just a prime example of why this mentality is so important. If you're able to take anything negative that happens to you and take the positives from it, he could have easily sat there and said, my dad got cancer and that could have been the worst thing that ever happened to his family, the worst thing that ever happened to him. But instead, he found the way to make that a positive. And that's obviously a very extreme example. But if you can take that mentality, you're going to improve your progress in anything you do tenfold. Instead of looking at a bad outcome and being upset about it, now you're going to be able to look, you're going to pull some positives from it. And if you can pull some positives from it, you're going to step forward the next day. You're going to keep moving forward. You're going to keep improving. And in turn, you're going to see more and more positive outcomes down the road. So again, why this is so important to me and to my company as a whole is not about being blind to the negative. I'm not trying to tell anybody that, you shouldn't feel pain, you shouldn't be upset when you lose, or you shouldn't be upset when you don't get the outcome that you want. The reason this is important is that when those bad outcomes happen, instead of losing your shit about it, instead of it wrecking the rest of your week or the rest of your month, now you can get something out of every situation. You lose, you can pull positives from it, you can improve off of it. You get cut, you can pull positives from your tryouts, you can improve off of it, and you can have a great season down one level from where you're at. Whatever it is that happens, wherever you end up, you're able to pull something positive from it. So as we wrap up the show today, my challenge to you is to find one negative area in your life that's currently sucking out your energy. One negative area in your life, whether this is a person in your life, whether this is, something that happened to you recently that's bugging you, that you're struggling with, whatever it is, one thing in your life right now that's sucking out your energy. One thing in your life right now that you're dealing with that you're not dealing with well. And I want you to ask yourself, what are you learning from it? How can you use this to improve in other areas of your life? And what about this person or situation has actually helped you? Ask yourself those questions, figure out how you can take the positive from this negative person or situation, and then learn how to move forward. And if you can't find anything positive from this person or this situation, my challenge to you now is to remove this situation or this person from your life. Because if there is nothing positive to take from someone or from a situation, there is no reason for you to stay in that position. So I hope this all makes sense. If you guys got some value, I would greatly appreciate a comment, drop a review on your favorite podcast platform, send me a message on social media. All the tags will be in the show notes below. I appreciate all the people who tuned in live. I appreciate you taking the time to come on and tune into the show. And as always, these shows are going to be coming out 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm dropping new episodes, and I'm very much looking forward to bringing this next one to you. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful rest of your day. I'm looking forward to talking to you next time.